You are sure to win. You're spineless, pale, pathetic heart, and you haven't got a clue. Somehow I make a man out of you. I'm never gonna catch my breath. Say about it, those who knew me. Boys like a fool in school for cutting the chin. This guy's got to save his death. Hope you see right through me. Now I really wish that I knew how to swim. Be a man. He must be swift as the coursing river. With all the force of a great typhoon. Be a man. With all the strength of a raging fire. Mysterious as the dark side of the moon. Time is racing toward us till the sun's arrive. Heed my every order, and you might survive. You're suited for the rage of war, so pack up, go home, you're through. How could I make a man out of you? Be a man. We must be swift as the coursing river, with all the force of a great typhoon. Be a man. With all the strength of a raging fire, mysterious as the dark side of the moon. Be a man. We must be swift as the coursing river, with all the force of a great typhoon. With all the strength of a raging fire, mysterious as the dark side of the moon. Yeah.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris, and you're listening to a podcast that believes in dreams, that places trust in the magic of imagination, that is always the first start of the right, and where the light in the window is always on. Join as we discuss the views from Walt's apartment.
You're listening to the podcast that covers all things Disney, Pixar, Marvel, and of course, Star Wars. That's right. You're listening to Walt's Apartment Podcast. How's everybody doing?
Look at you go.
Man.
It's been a long time. It's been a year.
It's like riding a bicycle, man.
I used to just say that over and over again, like in the car waiting in traffic. It's over and over again for 7 years. So it's just.
But you didn't hit us with the gradients and salutations, though.
Yep.
So
he knocked it out. We
did,
got
absolutely.
this.
I didn't say greetings and salutations.
no, that's all right, buddy.
I thought I did. Oh. Greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome.
There we go. So, welcome to Walt's Apartment Podcast. Looks a little bit different tonight. It's just the four of us here to start the show. No format tonight, as we talked about this last week on the show. What we're going to do this week, we have Andy back, who created the Dcast. So, and then because of Andy is the reason that we're all sitting here. Honestly, is because he created the Dcast and then introduced Chris and myself to you, and we got together and started again. Brought David in, brought Brooke in, brought Amber in, brought Megan in. Brought another Sean in for a while. And then, everything changed a year ago today. So, I mean, that's kind of why we're here and just get to talk about our awesome friend, Chris. And how y'all doing tonight?
Good. It's I told myself, like, this may be a little hard, but I'm gonna do my best to just put fun into this, because this is what Chris is about. He shares the Marvel fandom, and I told myself I'm gonna wear glasses so I don't lose my what. So I'm good. I'm good. How about you guys?
It's it's been a day. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. It's crazy. And I knew that this show is not going to be anything like anything we've ever done. It's just, I woke up this morning, and I won't lie. I woke up this morning, I sat there and realized that a year ago, I missed all the text messages from Chris's daughter telling us because at that time I was not part of the DCast. I was we had just started this, and but we did have the Marvel Tribe message still, and I remember getting the text from I believe it was Cadence or Alexis that messaged us in the middle of the night and said that Chris unfortunately passed away as of like an hour ago. And I remember David's comments. I can't even say what they are on here, but it was just the craziest thing. And then everything came full circle after that, because I know because I wasn't part of that group chat anymore that you guys had, that Andy said bring him back in. So we came back in, we all got back together again. And then, everything has changed to where Andy and I have agreed that I took over the DCast because of Chris, to honor Chris. And it's just, I'm not going to lie. The post I made a post on Facebook this morning, said how much I miss Chris. And I broke down and cried this morning for about 2 or 3 minutes, just because I did the same thing last year. And it's tough. It's tough. He was such a good dude. And I don't want to bring the vibe down, but you asked how we're doing. That's how I'm doing. I'm doing a lot better tonight. I'm excited about this. I'm excited to see Andy again. We're going to talk about Andy's Hiker podcast in the second half of the show.
Yes.
We're going to pump that up. Andy's freaking crushing it with the Hiker podcast. Yeah. So how are you guys feeling? I mean, like my wife actually made a comment on here, and she said the originals. So
the OGs.
that's
The
us.
OGs.
So that,
It's
the OGs.
weird. It's weird because like I knew the show was coming. I knew the 1 year anniversary was coming, but it didn't hit me. Every morning I wake up, I check my socials, I check my to-do list. I'm like, I got to email these people, that people. And I go on Facebook and I go on Instagram and I see my memories. And I was like, damn it. And it just like hit me, a flood of emotion. It was, 2 a.m. and it's all flooding in. And just thinking about I first met Chris back in 2008. So, and he instantly befriended me. I was working at a church doing music, and as we saw in the intro, he's a music guy, and he's always asking me, "Oh, can you play this song, that song?" And he'd be singing, and just I was a youth pastor to 2 of his kids, and it was just Nick and Alexis, and it's just it was one of those. He's just one of those guys that just no matter what happened in my life, I know I could call on him. I remember when I switched careers and I left my career as a pastor and started working downtown near him, he'd always try to make his way near my office, and he'd see me driving like, "Hey, DCast," and then so I don't know how many times he would stop me, hey, let me on the show. I'm like, okay, well, we'll think about it. And finally, when I decided to reboot it, I'm like, why haven't I ever actually considered letting Chris on the show?
right.
And it's just, it's just really kind of, I still can't believe it's been a year. And then I think about everything that's happened last year. We're still in a pandemic. We're still all this crap. And I'm like, wow,
yes,
it's insane.
Yeah. It's Amber. How about you?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
I didn't get to know Chris as long as you guys did. I was the kind of newest member in a way, so only got 4 or 5 months to hang out. And then, only a couple of that was in person. And then we just did it remotely after that. So, but the impact he had, I think, is measurable, because he always made you feel like you were a special friend. Even if you only had met him for the second time. He always remembered things about you and was asked about you and things that were important to you, and just always made you feel welcome.
Yeah.
Part.
So I know you were the new kid on the block, but I share with you a conversation we had with Chris, and I was talking to Chris and Andy about there's this this girl I work with who is a not Marvel, but a Star Wars geek, and she can hang with the best of them. And at the time, I mean, right in this space of podcasting stuff, it's dominated predominantly men. That's just men are little boys, however you want to say it. But there's really no female perspective and no voice and stuff. And so when I remember bringing that up to you guys, and you guys were just about like, well, yeah, let's bring her out, let's have her come out and try and stuff. And Andy and Chris, they're like, dude, we have a female voice out in the speaking for Star Wars and stuff. And then you came out and you just slayed it. And I don't know if, I mean, I'm sure they told you guys, told you, Amber, and stuff, but it was like, we can't let her go. She's a part of the group and stuff. So that was cool. And that, I mean, that's just kind of how we just rolled and stuff. Our goal was to kind of, and I remember Andy wanted to have that voice from all different perspectives and stuff that we all to kind of show we all share the same love about something and stuff. And I think he did a really good job, wrangling us together and then allowing us to just kind of build those relationships and stuff. And so I'm glad, that we got the new kid on the block, because I knew I can't tell you how many times I sat in her office watching the Star Wars thing, watching her like break stuff down detail by detail, getting emotional, doing it. I'm like, dude, I've never seen commentary from any of the other people I know that have Star Wars and stuff. And she stepped up and she just killed it. So dude, yeah, for being a new kid, you were definitely a DCast favorite and stuff. So,
and that was one thing I loved about Chris, because I mean, I was definitely wanting the DCast to be more diverse and more reflective of the fan communities out there. But he was the voice in my ear, telling, like, I knew it, I wanted to do it, but he was pushing me to do it constantly. Like, Andy, we're three fat white guys. Let's get some more diverse voices. Who do you know? And that's when I met David, and then he's like, we need more female voices, and then Chris and David started talking, and we had Amber on. It's like, hey, we need to get some queer and LGBTQ voices on there, and that was a process as well. And just to get, he was always like that push, no matter I mean, here we have a guy who's from the South, who grew up and understood discrimination, what was going on, and was not afraid to talk about it,
right? And
not afraid to push, like, no, we need more Black people on the show, we need more people of color, we need more women, and he was always pushing the boundaries on that. And it was so, he never took credit for it. Like, he was always pushing me to push, and I'm just like, I have him to thank for so much of the success of what it ended up being. And and he pushed me just to, I mean, even I remember I told Sean when he went out and did his own show, I was a little bummed out,
right?
And then Chris came to me, he's like, no, you guys need to figure this out, work it out, and bring it back together, combine it, and do whatever. And then literally I had that conversation with him, and literally the next day he passed, and it was just like, he was always just that voice of reason in my head when it came to this. And I'm gonna miss him.
Oh yeah, that's it's funny you talk about that situation, Andy. Is when everything happened last year, when I left and we were doing this, Chris was gonna do both. Chris and David were both gonna do both, because Chris, like you said, is so damn supportive and was so like, I'm here for you. Whatever you need, I'll do whatever I have to do. I'll do whatever you got to do. I'll do it for you. And it's the same kind of pushing. We need this. We need that. We got to get David to do this with us too. And I think, it's just, I don't know. Yeah, he's the most supportive, genuine, friendliest, caring person, and wants to make sure everyone is okay. And we had the same conversations, Andy, that you and him had. I mean, about let's figure this crap out. And but like you said, we'd recorded one episode where it was me. I think it was just me, Chris, and Tim. I don't think David was part of us yet, because we were still working stuff out. And it was just like an introductory to actually get the show on the platforms. And it was just like, I'm Chris, I'm Sean, I'm Tim. And we talked about who we are, and we talked about our families, and we talked about stuff. And literally the next week we recorded the first episode, the first episode of Walt's Apartment, which, and then that was a Sunday night. Monday night, we were talking about the popcorn that David ordered for all of us. Yeah. David said, David says, hey, I got the popcorn's here. Last message I saw from Chris said, cool, I'll have Joy get with you and come pick it up from you. And then just like that, everything changed. You know what I mean? And then, and I think the way everything went from that point, I know, Andy, when you stepped away from the DCast and gave that to me, I know that was hard for you. And we had this discussion many times last year, but and I know I said I was going to change the name. The only reason I changed the name was because of Chris's recording of the new show that I still play, the video that you created. So, and that's why it'll never change until Disney tells me I can't use that name anymore, but I don't think they can. But it will never change. And I mean, yeah, it's just, it's
Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Like
I'm not gonna lie, it's a shitty reason. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, no, not in passing. That's not what I meant. I mean, the way we all met and the way we all came together.
Right. No, of course. And then
Chris is definitely should still be here with us.
Oh, and he is every day. And yep. I remember. I mean, just talk a couple things about him. Amber, did you go with us to see Endgame?
Yeah.
I remember I sat next to Chris during Endgame, and I talked about this a few times on the Marvel Tribe and on the show. I was sitting next to Chris, and when Captain America picks up that hammer, and Chris is in his chair just shaking, yes, and I'm like, God damn, the passion that someone has for Marvel and just all the stuff. It just, I mean, just share some of your thoughts about him. I mean, I
gotta say it. So when I came on board with the Marvel, like I'm a huge comic book nerd. So I thought, and then I met Chris. I mean, over the years and stuff, it wasn't something that I broadcast and stuff. I'm a director of IT. I have professional ties. My geekdom, my nerdom was mine and my own. I didn't really share that with only but a few people and stuff. But I was very like, you want to talk about Marvel comics? Yeah, I'm down. Let's do it. And I have never had a conversation with a person who I used to think I can hold my own. I'm pretty good in that. I had comics my entire life. Me and my brother, that was our thing. My parents were in the military, so the one staple we would always take with us every time we moved was we had a toy chest, one of those old school toy chests full of comic books. That's the one thing we would always take with us and stuff. We can forget our clothes, all the other stuff, our friends, whatnot. We had our comic books. So when I remember talking to Chris and stuff, and we're just kind of deep diving into a few of the comic books and stuff that we read and stuff. And I'm like sitting there, it's like, dude, this dude knows more about comics than I went from having a conversation with what I thought was an equal to me just doing this, like, oh, really? I didn't know that. What? Dude, right. I didn't know that. Like, there's so many times where I hear him talking, I'm turning into a fan. I do it on the podcast. Like, we're on the podcast, and he'll go in, like, because we'll pick characters to talk about and deep dive and stuff, just to kind of give you guys a little bit. And I'll sit there like, I didn't realize that and stuff. And I'll miss my cue to even chime in, because I'm just sitting there like, I'm fanboying over Mr. Knowledge of the Marvel universe and stuff. So, but that's why when he passed, I had to walk away. I did this for fun. It still is fun, but at that time, I was not the emotion piece. I'm like, I'm done. I don't know I don't know if I can redo this piece again. And right. Chris and myself and Sean came up with that name. We talked about the Marvel Tribe, and that was going to be, that just, the comics, one tribe for everybody, whether you're a newbie to comics or you're an expert comic book nerd and stuff. That was what the goal of that show was. And I remember we had some controversy about calling it a tribe. You
got some pushback.
We got some pushback, and which is fine. I expected so, because we didn't take the name lightly, and we explained when we went back on specifically why we called it a tribe and stuff, and why also and as well as, the other co-creators were fit to utilize the word and the terminology tribe and stuff. And so I think after we did that show where we kind of explained it, that pushback kind of just ceased and desist. It is what it was.
Which is so funny to me. Just a quick side note about internet rage culture.
Yeah.
They were like, you're offending people of color and this and that. And no one had any idea. And I remember I just responded once, David is black.
Yes.
and shut up like half the haters. And then you
Yeah.
went into you put this great answer out there, and then Chris did too. It was like, wow, everybody was just silent. Like, oops, maybe I should read. Maybe I should read the post first before I comment.
Yes, no, absolutely. And so, so when I left and came back, I really, my fear was wasn't because it wasn't for me. It wasn't ever a co-host situation for me and Chris. I felt like I helped complement his, that dude's professionalism and stuff. And so I felt like, Andy, not Andy, our Andy, but like I always call the co-host of like the Tonight Show that the Andy character.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, I felt like that. And like, replacing David Letterman, I'm not going to fill those shoes. And so when I got asked to come back, I'm like, dude, I don't know nearly as much about comic books and this stuff as Chris, because and they're like, just try it, see how it feels and how it fits. And then I came back, did a couple of episodes. I skipped, here and there and stuff. And I gotta tell you, I'm so glad I came back. I was sitting there and I would think about what actually I can imagine conversations me and Chris would have and stuff. And he would be like, dude, I'm giving you the baton, dude. You better carry it on and stuff. Like, there's no reason for you not to do this. You love comic books as much as I can hear him saying it in his words and stuff. I swear I had a dream that he called me from the Mail Tribune in the middle of the night saying, get your ass up and you're going to do some, you're going to do this stuff and talk about Marvel and stuff.
Yep.
So, yeah, so I've loved it ever since. We got opportunity to grow, add more, more hosts and everything as we'll talk about later and stuff. But yeah, and then and we get to support, like, Andy went off and did the doing the Hikers podcast, and he's doing amazing stuff. I'm fanning him. He put out his stickers. I wanted to be like first. I bought him first. I got it, but I'm pretty sure he got a few sales before me and stuff. But yeah, I mean, he's doing great stuff out there and stuff. So I'm glad I get to kind of a year later get to be on stage with Mr. Andy and Sean and Amber and all you guys. So I'm going to talk a lot, but
so. We have a comment here. I'm going to read this real quick. It says, thank you, every single one of you, for this tribute /about my nephew. Each one of you summed up exactly who he was. This is one of the hardest days of my life. He was my firstborn nephew, and he was Chris from day one and always had an impact on every single person he met. His love for Marvel Comics, his entire life was who he was. Thank you from from South Louisiana. Linda, our pleasure. Thank you so much for that comment. I want to talk about Chris was very. I'm going to do a couple of things, and we'll get everyone else in here real quick. Chris was really, really creative, and I don't know if you guys remember when when my grandson Cashton turned, I think 7. I asked you all, whoever could, make a video to just wish him happy birthday. Chris did this, and I remember he texted me on the side and said, it's going to be really, really dark because I'm not wearing a shirt. I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. So, and I get that. So real quick, here's what he put together for my grandson a couple of years ago.
Oh, goodness.
Cashton, your grandfather, we called him Papa's in the South, said it was your birthday. So, gosh, it disturbs me to see you, Cashton, looking so down in the dumps. Every guy here loved to be you, Cashton, even when taking your lumps. There's no one on YouTube as admired as you. You're everyone's favorite dude. Everyone's awed and inspired, it's true. So happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Cashton.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
I have 2 recordings of him singing at our Moose Lodge here, karaoke, which we're gonna play. We're gonna play both of them before we go. But the dude could sing like you wouldn't believe. And I was trying to go through, and I told Andy, I'm gonna try to pull all these different audio files in from the podcast and put them together. I couldn't do it. I was trying to do it. I couldn't pick one that I want to do more than the other. And I'm like, there's just no way I could do this, But it's.
There's 2 that I always go back to, the moments. There was the moment where he gave a tribute to
his mom. Yep.
Yeah.
and we lucky enough to cue up the Peter Pan music right on time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then that I mean, I listened to that before he passed and was crying because he was just, you just felt his love for Disney and the properties and his family. That's one thing about Chris. He had a ferocious love for his family.
Oh, absolutely.
Joy, the girls, Nick, second to none. Second moment I always remember from him is I used to do these things. I'd keep recording. And at the end of the episode, I put like a full minute of us just bantering.
Yeah.
And he started this whole thing about, I once said I hated James Cameron as a director. And so that became the whole thing. And then, so he started going on about how, you know, James Cameron's coming after me. And I'm like, no way. James Cameron, when I come to my first big movie premiere, I'm not going to let him in. Actually, I'm going to make him get me popcorn. And then at the very end of the show, he says, get me popcorn, James Cameron. And just the way he said it in his Chris cadence.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I actually found that clip and reposted it not too long ago because it's like, and I remember hearing it and I just started crying just because like, that was Chris.
Yeah.
He was hilarious.
You know,
Absolutely.
there was a couple of times and Chris was hilarious, funny, and could like just think of something like that. And I mean, David and Brenda have been out with us. We went out to the Moose Lodge and had drinks and stuff. And Chris was very crude too, and which you wouldn't expect that side of him because he's just this big loving guy. But no, dude,
I got some stories of him trying to censor himself in church. Let me just say that it's hilarious. I won't bring it up here, but
For those who don't know, I'm sorry, I'll just say this real quick to add on, and I'll let you continue. For those who don't know, Chris reminds me of Robin Williams. It's how your interaction with him. If you're a kid, you know him as Aladdin. If you're an adult, you may have seen his stand up. But he's all of those people and stuff. And it's a funny, amazing, wonderful package that dude came in. So
yeah,
he
was. Before we bring everyone else in here, does anyone have anything else they want to add about Chris? I mean, I'm glad we did this, Andy. I can't even thank you so much for coming back, man.
Oh, it's my pleasure. My pleasure.
You and I've told you this from day one. You always have a seat. Whenever you just want to come on, you just say this. This is still your show. I mean, it's a different name, but you created this. Half of our listeners are people that followed you. I mean,
and half the guys listening right now probably listen to me on Hiker Podcast too. My number 2 city in California, people listen to me, are in Anaheim. It's so weird. I look, I'm like, there's all these decasters listening to me, and they've gotten into hiking because of, following me, which has been so cool.
So let me do this. I want to play one of the songs I have queued up that he sang. It's about three minutes long. We're going to sing this one. Then after we're done with that, we'll bring everyone else in. I want to do a little bit of a show. We have some pretty cool topics to talk about this week. We're just going to banter about them. And then at the end, I have another song that Chris sang, and we'll finish it up here. So give me a second here because talk amongst yourselves because I always mess this up.
So I do have to say this, Andy. You are responsible for me actually hiking Table Rock.
Nice.
No, not nice. It is what it is. I did it. My girl loves hiking. We're going to go do Tokenie Fall, the waterfalls and stuff.
Nice. It's really beautiful.
Yeah. So, but yeah, thanks. Just want to say thanks.
You're welcome. You think it's a lot easier to look. Every time I go up, I'm like, I don't remember it being this hard, and I've done it like 10 times in the last 10 months, and it's a butt burner.
It is.
Let's hit this song. It's about 3.5 minutes long, and then we're going to bring everyone else in, and we can still talk about Chris, whatever the heck you guys want. But here we go. Here's Chris singing.
Put on my blue suede shoes and boarded the plane. Touchdown in the land of the Delta Blues, in the middle of the pouring rain. W.C. Handy, won't you look down over me? Yeah, I got a first-class ticket, but as blue as a boy can be. We're walking in Memphis, just walking with my feet 10 feet off the wheel. Walking in Memphis, but do I really feel the way I feel? St. Louis, Dallas, on Union Avenue, 5 followed him up to the gates of Graceland. Then I watched him walk right through. Now security, they did not see him. They just hovered around his tomb. But there's a pretty little thing waiting for the king down in the jungle room. When I was walking in Memphis, I was walking with my feet 10 feet off the beat. Walking in Memphis, but do I really feel the way I feel? They got catfish on the table. They got gospel in the air. And Reverend Green, be glad to see you when you haven't got a prayer. Oh, you got a prayer in Memphis. Now Muriel plays piano every Friday at the Hollywood. And they brought me down to the ceiling, and they asked me if I would do a little love, and I sang with all my might. She said, tell me, are you a Christian child? And I said, man, I am tonight. Walking in Memphis, I was walking with my feet 10 feet off the beat. Walking Memphis, but do I really feel the way I feel? Walking in Memphis, I was walking with my feet 10 feet off the wheel. Walking in Memphis, but do I really feel the way I feel? Put on my blue suede shoes and boarded the plane. Touchdown in the land of the Delta Blues, in the middle of the pouring rain. Touchdown in the land of the Delta Blues, in the middle of the pouring rain.
Dude, yeah,
Killing me, man. You're killing me.
Wait till the last one. So here we all are.
All right, we got the crew.
What is up?
So got the D-cast on the top, the newbies on the bottom. Ethan, Brianna, Sam, how y'all doing tonight?
Doing well.
And yes, I did say Ethan because if you didn't catch last week when David spoiled it, Ethan is a new host of Walt's Apartment Podcast.
I didn't spoil that.
Welcome.
What?
We weren't going to tell anyone yet, but it's okay.
That's all right.
I didn't
all right.
say what?
It's all good.
Spoiler.
Okay, Ethan, welcome. Brianna,
Hey,
welcome.
thanks.
Sam,
Hello.
welcome. How are y'all doing tonight?
Well, you've made me cry, so we're good.
Well, yeah. Now we're just going to
You're
I
in
know-
good company.
yeah, you're definitely. So, Brianna and Ethan, I know you guys listen to the DCast, correct?
I did.
So how's it feel to see Andy again?
Hello.
Yes.
Familiar voice.
Yes. Familiar voice and really just a lovely tribute, you guys, tonight. You know, I had said, you know, I'll stay put. Sam said the same thing. You know, we'll stay behind the scenes and just watch. And you know, happy to be here. But obviously, this was a night for Chris, and I think it's beautiful to see that this is still going. I think that to me is, you know, when I got into this podcasting world, like, you folks were the first people that I remember really listening to, and you opened your arms to me and were like, hey, you know, come hang out in our space, and now I get to hang out every Wednesday evening. So
There you
it's
go. That's
it's
what
pretty,
we do.
it's very, very cool, and I'm excited to be a part of it all, and happy to be here with everybody. So very cool indeed.
Cool. Brianna, you doing good?
Yeah, doing good. Yeah,
All right.
kind of the same with what Ethan said. I have listened to this podcast for so long and watched every single one of you come in, watched Chris come and go, but I was like, this was a interesting night, and it was good to see everyone back.
Yeah, for sure. Sam, how about you?
I mean, I'm the baby here, but but I know how much Chris meant to all of you. I see it all the time. You guys talk about it all the time, and I mean, his impression is definitely on the entire podcast team. So
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. So what I wanted to do tonight, I just picked 4 random topics I want to talk about. We'll kind of do a regular show. We're going to get you some of that. David's going to tell us to get you some of that. So that's going to happen. There's no game because at the end, there's another song. Chris did a version of I Would Do Anything for Love by Meatloaf, and he sings both parts.
Oh, yes.
So,
of course he does. Of course he does.
That'll be the last 5 minutes of the show. But just for me to all of you that are sitting here, you've helped me get through all this stuff, and I appreciate all of you. And again, I mean, we could talk, we could do this for hours, but I know that I don't even know what to say. So just thank you all very much, and Andy, thank you very much. I mean, probably more than anyone on here, because I don't know if I'd be where I am right now without the DCast audience. Because when I first started, I didn't have the DCast audience, and for you to say, hey, it's time to do that and know that it'd be taken care of. I hope I've done you proud. I hope I've done Chris proud. I hope we've all done everyone proud. So that's
And then the show, I mean, this was my baby. I remember sitting in Crescent City, California 8-9 years ago now, and just coming up with this idea and then seeing it go from one iteration to another. And then when it became obvious to me that my passion, not that I don't, I mean, look behind me. I mean, I love Disney, obviously, but I also love the outdoors and hiking, that I just couldn't put all my energies into it. And after talking with Chris, and then he passed literally the next day, I knew I needed to just hand this off. And, I thought back to the first time we met at, my daughter's preschool, your grandson's preschool. I'm like, that dude has a partner's tattoo. Like, what's let me talk. Oh, he knows Maxwell Glick. What the heck? I know Max, and just and it just started off, and then when it came time to kind of reboot things, I couldn't think of anyone better but you and Chris, and then it just grew from there. And it's awesome to see it keep going and to see so many listeners continue to engage. And as the company has changed, I think back how much Disney has changed in the last year. And it's just it's insane.
Yeah, so you're absolutely right, and like I said, we've kept. I mean, the format you had, I mean, is basically the same format we have now. I mean, we talk about news, we do some stuff. We had a game in at the end, but the news portion of it, because we're a entertainment news podcast, and that's what we do.
And you guys are actually killing it. I still get the emails on a Chartable that I signed up for forever ago. You guys sometimes chart in the top 100 entertainment podcasts.
Yep.
I mean, that's something I can never imagine. We were lucky if we hit the top 1,000 before. You guys are killing it, insane.
Well, thank you. But how's the Hiker podcast doing?
Wow. I am lucky. I came into the outdoor spaces right when everybody started discovering the outdoors because there was nothing else to do.
Right.
I discovered I loved it. I got to know a lot of great people, a lot of sponsors. I'm wearing Columbia's Star Wars Outer Rim collection. Columbia here. They do inclusive sizing, which is great, and they do Star Wars and Disney lines. And I've actually got, don't tell them what Columbia. I said this, but I got a meeting with Columbia here in 2 weeks. I'm super excited about. And they've been pushing. I'm just excited, and I'm hoping to with them. They're like, oh, he likes Star Wars and Disney, and we're trying to push out plus sizes and outdoors and hiking. Like, this might be our guy. I don't know. But the podcast is killing it. The numbers, we're consistently in the top 50 outdoor podcasts, awesome. Which includes, when you say outdoor podcast, that includes everyone who really loves their AK-27s or 47s and to fishing podcasts. So it's been pretty cool.
That's perfect.
Congratulations on all your success. I've seen your post and the stock modeling and stuff. I mean, you're crushing it, dude. So you're
the sock model.
Dude, you posted the thing that said nice socks in the place they're one of your sponsors, correct?
Everyman Jack, who also they do stuff with Marvel. They do their whole Marvel line. Everyman Jack does, and I can't wait for the next Marvel movie to come out. And I can partner with them on that one too. So yeah.
So let's get into some news, and at the end we'll talk about where we can find your show and stuff. But let's talk a little bit of news here from our friends at the Disney Insider. Hey, so Ethan, what do you think about the Scarlett Johansson lawsuit?
Wow, way to just bring it hard there, Sean.
Right in.
Just some general topics.
Yeah.
Boom.
Please don't read that big long thing you put in our group chat. Dude.
It's very, very interesting. I think I can't speak to it like Sean Nyberg can, but what I do think is very interesting is I think this will change the entire dynamic of how streaming services look at their actors. Right now, I look at someone like Netflix, and I think they've probably gotten it figured out because they're original. They sign out their actors. Everything's contractual. But this new space with Disney, HBO, like these new spaces that are taking brand new films and putting them directly to a streaming service, and with something like Disney where you actually have to pay a premium price, I do think that there'll be some serious implications over the next, I'm going to say 3 to 5 years for them to figure this out, get through the legal battles, and really hammer down like the actual monies and things of that nature, because it can be very, very sticky and very dicey when you start talking about individuals and you start talking about money and things of that nature. So I'm going to be watching it with a very close eye because I do think it'll get interesting very quickly. Emma Stone comes to mind. I mean, some of these really big, prominent actors who have big, prominent films. I'll be curious at how The Rock is gonna work out too. So we'll see.
Yeah, we talked a lot about on the Marvel Tribe on Sunday night. So the ones that were on that show, we won't touch on it. But Amber, Andy, your guys' thoughts?
I think you have a situation here where it's also the industry is changing in every aspect. Whether I've been a lot hiker podcasts. I've been talking with a lot of documentary filmmakers and outdoor filmmakers. It's the things aren't going to theaters anymore; they're going straight to streaming. But you have the situation here where there was this transitional period where there was under no circumstances was Black Widow ever going to go to a streaming service. Around the same time it was going to hit theaters. That movie was set to release before the pandemic was even in our minds. Right. Same with I'm curious what's going to happen with Jungle Book and other films like that. So I don't know what happened behind the scenes. It feels to me that Disney was short-sighted in not thinking that Scarlett Johansson would have a problem with this because you're losing a lot. She's losing a lot of money. The vast majority of the people I know watched a Black Widow at home. I watched it in theaters, but a lot of people watched it at home. And, she didn't get a huge cut of that. And then Disney's reaction was just like, you should have just said nothing, Bob. Jeez, come on. So there's going to be this transition period where you have these films that were already set to be released, and the pandemic hit, and then they were delayed. But there's also profit sharing. How, I can bring, 20 people in my house and pay the premium $30 and watch Jungle Cruise on my big screen TV. Right. And that's how do you quantify that? Yeah. And so there's a lot of questions that have to be answered. And let's just face it, theaters and theater going, as much as I hate saying it, as we know it, is gone. I mean, of the four theaters we had here in Southern Oregon over the pandemic, 2 of them are now gone. Now we only have the Varsity and Cinemark. That's it. And that's going to happen nationwide. So companies have to pivot. Actors and talent have to be, willing to negotiate, but at the same time, Disney should have saw this coming.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and it's about ethics, right? Like, none of us knew this was going to happen. Things changed very rapidly. So, I mean, do the right thing by your basically employees, right? Or those that have a stake in this movie release. Right. So, okay, cool. Release it on a streaming service simultaneously. That's great marketing right now. But then ethically negotiate with your stars who have a stake in it. It's really not that hard.
Especially someone like Scarlett Johansson, who has been there since Iron Man 2.
Right.
She has been a staple of this franchise. Exactly. And so much so they gave her her own movie, starting phase 4, which still I'm got some issues with that, but with the timing, but at the same time they did that for her. And it was an epic, amazing film, and they just cost her $20 million. Yep. Not cool, Disney.
Right.
Brianna, it was kind of something that Brianna and I talked about on the podcast on the Marvel Tribe this week. We said if it was like Robert Downey Jr. or a male.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, what's
might
the
not
Rock?
have gotten the same reaction.
I'm curious to see like what's the Rock up to right now, because he had kind of a similar situation. You know, I watched Jungle Cruise at home. I paid the $30. How much money did he lose out on?
Or was his contract renegotiated before they put him out?
Exactly.
Well, I saw the Disney Insider put out an article. I think it was Sunday afternoon, saying that he was not going to sue. I know Emma Stone is possibly going to sue still, and I heard something about Gerard Butler for something else, but I'm not sure. You know, but yeah, like Brianna even stated on the Marvel Tribe, the fact that she said that Scarlett was listed as a producer on this. If you're a producer, you're putting your own money into this. You should get your damn money back. And I'm the biggest Disney fan in the world, and we'll never talk bad about them, but they handled this completely wrong. And I'm sorry to say, so yeah.
I have to say we were all super surprised about the response Disney did.
Yeah.
That's uncharacteristic of how
done
Disney.
Dirty, man.
I mean, it's it's responding 101 to a legal matter. You should know better. They went for her jugular in this and stuff, and it was new to me. That was very amateur move, and I'm not throwing that directly into Chapek, but he's the head guy. This is your house of mouse.
They had
now.
to go through him, so that's bad form, man. Bad form.
Blame Chapek.
Anna Azia. Okay.
Wow.
Says Sam, I like your Minnie Mouse collection. I collect Disney.
Thanks.
Nice.
There you go.
Awesome.
So next topic: who's seen Jungle Cruise?
I have.
I'm seeing it on Saturday.
It's David. What'd you think? You said on the Marvel Tribe. What'd you think of it?
So I saw it twice, and I fell asleep.
Oh,
no, but hold on. I'm a dad. I got kids and the household and everything. I didn't fall asleep because it wasn't entertaining. It was extremely entertaining. Yeah. I was dead tired. I picked the wrong opportunity to watch it. My kids, it's summer. They like to start watching movies at like 10 o'clock at night and stuff. And I'm an older, I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but 10 o'clock at night is really pushing the envelope for me. Yeah. So, but I'm going to watch it again because I have the premium on Disney Plus, which affords me to do that. So,
yep. Brianna, Andy, what'd you guys think?
I loved it. I saw it in theaters, IMAX, because that's what I always do. But it was really good. I do think because I waited so long for this movie and kept building up my expectations, I don't know if it fully met everything I wanted, but overall, I still really loved the movie, and I will watch it again. Like, it definitely has rewatchability. I was entertained the entire time. It just, I think I just waited too long. I didn't wait too long. They got pushed, but that built up just way too many expectations in my brain that I still felt just a little, it just wasn't all there for me.
Okay.
But
overall, I thought the movie was great. It brought me back to the original Pirates of the Caribbean films, kind of that just adventure, not trying to be too complicated. It handled some little taboo issues for Disney. Disney had their 7th first gay character, I think now. Maybe 8th first gay character. I don't know. They keep saying this is our first gay character.
First, yeah.
But they dealt with that issue, which I thought was great. Overall, The Rock did really great. Why am I blanking on her name?
Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt was amazing in it. Story was great. It wasn't too complicated. It was just a fun popcorn flick. Wish I could have seen it in theaters. But I'm not going to theaters right now again because my kids can't get vaccinated yet, so I'm kind of trying to be careful. But yeah, overall it was great, well directed. The music was really good. It dragged a little bit in the second act, but there's a lot of exposition that had to kind of establish in the second act there, I thought. But overall, it was really great. I want to see it in theaters when I can.
Everyone compares it to Pirates. I still think it was basically Atlantis. Especially at the beginning where he's giving his little speech. And all I could think about was Atlantis.
The thought came to my mind that these two movies could actually exist in the same universe. There could be united, Disney Parks Attraction film universe, which would be amazing.
Right.
Interesting.
Kind of cool.
I thought it
Brianna
was,
started talking about Atlantis, so now I've got something else on my mind.
Oh, here we go.
I thought it was
Wrong
good.
Other Atlantis.
I thought it was really good. I'm not going to lie, and you guys are going to think I'm lying about this, but Ryan actually bought this one too. Lisa
You're gonna have to
called me.
hide your remotes.
No,
Yeah.
and I have a problem with Disney. I'm sure there's security things on Disney Plus, but Lisa calls me yesterday and says, Sean, I'm like, what the hell? What's going on? She goes, Ryan just bought Jungle Cruise, and at that time I get an email that says, congratulations on your purchase, because it's the top thing on the thing. If you keep hitting okay, it's okay. And he's 18 months old, knows how to push okay. So yeah, we watched today. I thought it was great. I thought the first 5 minutes of when you guys watch it, the first 5 minutes of all the puns. I mean, I think they hit every single pun in the world in a matter of a few seconds. I think it was, great.
So I got a lot of eye rolling from my kids and directed towards me. So apparently, I thought the puns were hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, these younger kids, that's like dad jokes, and that's not it. Is what they said. Then they looked at me. It's like, see that? That's you. I was like, yeah, The Rock. Yeah, absolutely. No, what he said.
See, my question is there now going to be? I know they just did a revamp of the attraction. Is there going to be an animatronic Rock somewhere in the Jungle Cruise next coming years?
They said no.
That'd be amazing. I want it though. I want it.
It'll be weird. It'd be like the animatronic Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, there's a certain. I don't know if it'll hold well.
I'm just ready for them to take down Johnny Depp because that hasn't aged well at all. Has not.
That's
So-
true.
Last topic I want to talk about. I'm going to skip one of them here. I'm going to talk about the Superstar Galactic, $5,000 for 2 days. You guys see that they released that today?
Oh yeah.
For the
$5,000. My trip was going to be $10,000 for how many people we have.
right. Well, if two people go, it's a 2-night excursion. It's fully immersive. You also get to go into Galaxy's Edge through a different location into Batu. You get to ride the attractions there. But for just 2 people, it's $1,200 a person a night.
Actually,
So
it's
you look-
more than that
It's
because
two.
the minimum cost is
Higher.
$4,800. So that's misleading the way that they posted that price
Correct.
point.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
So
So-
yeah.
So,
Thoughts on that? Would you do it?
I don't think this is going to sustain itself. They are going to be changing it into a regular
It
resort.
can't.
at some
Not
point.
with, I mean,
I don't.
Yeah.
I know
I
Disney
don't
Phantom.
know. It's only 100 cabins.
Park
okay?
fans.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
I feel like they would stay plenty busy for quite a while before they'd have to drop their price point. It's just like a cruise.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that's different is it's such a short window.
It's the world's most expensive cruise.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
like it's
Exactly.
not,
I
it's
could
not
take
like
an 80K
anything
cruise
ever on the
for
planet.
$2,000.
Well, there's nothing else like it. I mean,
Yeah,
you're not going to
correct.
get that experience anywhere else. So they can put any price tag that they want on it
Yep.
and see who's going to bite. You know, and
exactly.
if people do, great. And if they don't, they'll adjust. But I think to begin with, they'll have quite a bit of interest for sure.
And it's just like with annual passes for so long. You know, I was an annual pass holder for a long time, and they kept raising the prices over and over again. And people are like, "Oh, no one's going to get it now. No one's going to get it," and people kept getting it,
They'll
and
do it.
crowds got bigger. You know, and that's kind of my feeling on it. It's, you know what, there are a lot of nerds out there who are willing to pay $70 for a Star Wars shirt, who will easily drop $5,000 in an experience like that.
Sure.
So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I don't know if I would do that. That seems like a lot of money. But you know, but
I feel like once you do it once, though, then it's like that's like
Yeah.
it's gonna have
Yeah.
that immediate. It's gonna have that immediate. Like, yes, people want to do this, but like
right.
in the long run, I feel like it'll lose its appeal.
Yes.
Yeah. It'll
Yeah.
be a one and done thing for sure. Like, it'll go on my bucket list.
Right.
But it's not happening anytime soon. Like, I can't afford that to fly to the East Coast and spend just 2 nights there. I mean, come on.
Right.
Now, I will say this: it is cheaper than the Elon Musk taking you to Mars. I looked at the pricing, the cost to get on that ship, and Disney might have something with that crowd and stuff. So
No, let me see here what it's around the price for those exclusive VIP tours that include food and stuff in the price. It's supposed to be a premium experience. don't. This is this that's
I
bad.
don't think it's that bad.
Don't think it's that bad.
Don't think it's that bad.
I was going to mention that because I've done the VIP thing, and it's it's about the same price for 6 hours to have a plaid walk around with you.
Wow.
It's but we did everything in the park in a matter of 6 hours and whatever we wanted. So I mean, Danny's exactly right. It was.
Yeah, I'm sure you're walking away with quite a bit of swag.
Oh, I'm
and all.
sure.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure how well they're giving you, but you're going to have memories, and it's all inclusive. I'm sure that's pictures, everything. I mean, you're going to want to be saving the cups and all that. It's going to be insane,
Right.
And one of those things you get to do, and as people kind of get used to it, and it becomes a little less novel. They'll do like Journey to Endor, or the Outer Rim cruise, or different experiences for the super inside baseball Star Wars nerds.
I'm gonna put up Bill's comment real quick, then we can wrap up. He says Disney's done the market research for sure, but once the nerd market runs out, the price will drop. I think it's just gonna keep going up.
I don't know. Have you seen Star Wars Celebration? There's a lot of freaking Star Wars nerds
And
out there.
for only 100 rooms, so you're saying you have 100 rooms, right? So that's half $500,000 a day.
Yeah,
that they'd be making.
And there's a lot of pent up demand right now for this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a long time before people feel like leaving the country once COVID's gone, just because it's money and other things. So it's domestic, it's here, it's going to drive a lot of tourism, and people won't have to go very far for it. So,
well, not
I
only that,
need to befriend a Star Wars person with lots of money.
Yeah, you and me both, girl.
Because this kindergarten teacher salary is not going to cut it.
it could very well change the way that we look at a resort stay too. I mean, think of the abilities that they would have to do with Marvel, or even individualize it to different Pixar films or things of that nature. I mean, it could very well change the dynamic of how to stay at a resort moving forward, which I think is pretty incredible.
I think Ethan's onto something, because we've had, I don't know how many of you guys seen that show Westworld, but that show is an immersive vacation. Yeah. And I sit here and I complain about the price, the sticker shock for me. But if I had the money to spend it, I'll be the first one to book it. I want that experience. So
absolutely.
This could be the beginning of something really, really cool for a lot of industries. So
yeah, I absolutely agree with you. That I want to touch on a few Disney things. I want to, I don't know what else to say tonight. Really, I want to thank you all for being here. Andy, tell us about the Hiker Podcast, where we can find it.
Hiker Podcast is just me as Andy, a new hiker, talking with people in the outdoor hiking community, finding out what it is to be a hiker, and not just all the gear and stuff, but I want to get to know the hiker behind. The hiker behind the trekking poles, those little hiking sticks that people use. And we get to know the hiker and how hiking in the outdoors has changed them and how they're changing the world around them. And we have such a diverse array of guests on the show who just talk about their journeys, whether they're just day hikers or they've hiked the Pacific Crest Trail or anywhere around the world. We've had amazing sponsors. Shout out to CSS Coffee, Canuck Outdoors for being amazing. And if you want to know more, go to hikerpodcast.com or follow me at Instagram at Andy Films and Hikes. And I'm still posting a lot of nerdy Disney stuff, and like I say,
can't get away from it.
You can't get away from it. You really can't. There's a lot of Disney nerds in the outdoor community, and it's safe to get out there now. A lot of them like to say adventure is out there, or the wilderness must be explored.
So I mean, again, from me to you, Andy, thank you for everything. For Amber, David, Ethan, Brianna, Sam, Sean Nyberg, who sends his love, says he will be back. He told us that today in our group chat. He says he will be back soon. He is actually with his nephew at Disneyland right now. He will be back. We will get all of our shows back up and running. Season 2 officially starts next week. Ethan, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, everybody.
Absolutely. Yeah. But I want to bring it back real quick to Chris. I just want to I don't know what to say.
We'll close it out with our final big tribute for Chris and Queue Up, which I actually this song is amazing, and he like you said, he does both parts. I heard him live seeing this, so I'm excited to actually re-see this. So yeah,
we're gonna end with this. And Chris, I know I love you. I miss you so much every day, buddy. I got to go back to this. I didn't click share, so 1 second here. I'm losing my mind here. Sorry. Can you still hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right. So that's it from all of us here at Walt's Apartment Podcast. I'm going to end with this song, and we'll just go off after this. So thank you all for listening. Thank you all for being part of this last year. Thank you, Chris, for inspiring us every single day. And as always, we hope you enjoy the view from Walt's Apartment. Good night.
And I would do anything for love. I'd run right to heaven. I would do anything for love. I'll never lie to you, and that's a fact. But I'll never forget the way you feel right now. Oh, no. No way, and I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. No, I won't do that. And some days it don't come easy, and some days it don't come hard. Some days it don't come at all, and these are the days that never end. And some nights you're breathing fire, and some nights you're coughing ice. Some nights you're like nothing I've ever seen before, over again. And maybe it's crazy, oh it's crazy and it's true. I know you can save me, no one else can save me now but you. As long as the planets are turning, as long as the stars are burning, as long as your dreams are coming true, you better believe it, that I would do anything for love. Oh, I would do anything for love. I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. No, I won't do that. I would do anything for love, anything you've been dreaming of, but I just won't do that. I would do anything for love, anything you've been dreaming of, but I just won't do that. And some days I pray for silence, and some days I pray for souls. Some days I just pray to the gods of sex and drugs and rock and roll. And maybe I'm lonely, but I'm qualified to be me. There's just one only promise I can give. As long as the wheels are turning, as long as the fires are burning, as long as your prayers are coming true, you better believe it, that I would do anything for love. And you know it's true, and that's a fact. And I would do anything for love, and there'll never be no turning back. I'll never do it better than I do it with you for so long, so long. And I would do anything for love. Oh, I would do anything for love. I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. No, 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 I won't. Will you raise me up? Will you help me down? Will you get me right out of this garden? Sick and tired. Will you make it all a little less cold? Whoa, now I can declare to every man to see I got. We'll hold it down, we'll hold it on. If it gets too hot, we take me places I never known. Now I can do that. Whoa, now I can do right on the territory. I've been around, you know, turn to dust, but I'll fall down. Sooner or later, you'll be screwed around. I won't do that. No, I won't do anything for love, but I won't do that.